In this video, I fixed the problem of the disks not landing in the center of the post like they're supposed to. So if we refresh here, you'll see that they're moving along and they're landing in the center of the post. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I did that, and some other things. I have a web font up here. That's how this gets this look. And yeah, let's go over to the code. And the first thing that I want to talk about is these predefined constants up here. So I made some changes here, and basically what I'm doing here is before I hard-coded values in here, but that's not a good way. A better way is to retrieve them dynamically. So actually all of the data was in our CSS file in the beginning. So instead of disk height being hard-coded 20 pixels here, well, now we're using the outer height from jQuery to get the total height of the disk, which is going to, it's going to give us, I think it's going to give us 20 right here, an integer value. Anyways, we're getting it dynamically, and the distance between the posts. So this variable was needed in order to, it's a new variable. I'm using it to calculate where to send the disk, so it goes to the center of the post, and that is being set to post 1's left position minus post 0's left position. So in my HTML here, you see the posts are like this: post 0, post 1, post 2. Okay, so the post 1 position left, which is second post, minus the first post, that gives us the distance between the first and second post, and then we store that right here. However, there's also a third post, and what if the space between that was different? So what I did at the bottom here was I created a function called check for data errors, and basically what this is saying is if the distance between the first and the second post is not equal to the distance between the second and the third post, then we're going to alert that the posts are not in equal distance apart. So this is basically just some quality control for us, so that we can always rest assured that the space between the posts are are equal. Yeah, so let's go back up here, and then game top, again, this is being retrieved with jQuery. We're checking the post and getting its height, and this will return us the string pixel value. So it's just better doing things this way. So we only need to set things once in the CSS file, and then whatever values are in there, these are going to be retrieved automatically by jQuery in this main.js. So basically the main thing what I was doing this time was we need to set the send disk across. So the problem before was in here, and it wasn't sending, the send disk across sends the disk left and right, and it wasn't sending the right value. So right now this left value right here is being set to this function, get left value, and this function is going to return the accurate left value to left value right here. Okay, so I'm just going to go up to that function right here, and before I talk about what's in this function here, I just want to give a simple demonstration using Chrome about how this works. So I'm just going to right click on this first disk here, and I'm going to inspect it, and you see the left here is 363 because the game's already finished, but I'm going to put it back here to where it is when it started, which was 98, I believe, and we can check right here. It was 97. So let's set that to 97. And so how am I going to get this disk here animated over to the center post? Okay, well, all I have to do here is from this left value, all I have to do is add the distance between the posts. Okay, so if I add the distance between the posts, let's hold shift here. Yeah, we're going to get it in the middle. Okay, now I'm going to go back here. Now what if I want to go from the first post to the last one? Well, then I just need to add to the left value the distance between the posts times 2. Okay. Now, what if I want to go from the last post here to the second post? Well, all I have to do is add the distance between the posts multiplied by -1. Okay, so we're using a multiplier, and that's how that's being done. And if I want to go from the second one to the first one, I add the distance between the posts times -2. Okay, so that's just the way I decided to do this, and it worked just fine. So now we can look at that function. Go over to our JS and get left value. So first thing I'm doing is creating a variable current disk, and that's set to game and then disk order sub the move we're on. So we know that game.animate count -1. We know this is the current move we're on, and so disk order, the first time around, this will be disk order sub 0, and that will give us the disk that we're supposed to move, and we're storing that in current disk. And after that, left value is set to we're selecting the disk, and then we're concatenating on the current disk. Okay, so of course the first time that's going to be 0. Okay, our small disk right here is disk 0. So we're selecting here disk 0, and then dot position dot left, and this is going to assign integer value of its left position. Okay, so in the beginning that will be whatever's in the CSS file, which is 98 pixels. Okay, so we got that 98 pixels stored in there, and then the next variable is called direction. Okay, so this direction is set to a ternary operator, which is going to return either right or left depending on how this evaluates right here. Okay, so if the game moved from, okay, the post, this is the post we're coming from, and this is the post we're going to. If game moved from sub 0 is less than game move to, okay, sub 0. I'm just gonna open up Firefox for a second, just so that's really clear. Actually, I have it open here already, and you can see move from, in the very first time, this is the first move from sub 0. Okay, move from sub 0 is set to 0. Okay, we're going from the first post, and then move to sub 0, and here is set to 2. So we're going to the last post. Okay, and we can see that in the game. Well, we know that we can see that in the game that the first thing that happens is this goes from post 0 to post 2. Okay, so we go over here, and let's see. Game move from sub 0. Okay, if 0 is less than 2, then return right. Okay, so then we know we're going right. If we're going from the 0 post to the 2 post, then we know we're going from left to right. Okay, and then we return right to direction. And if it's not smaller, then we know the disk is going to the left, so we return left to direction. Okay, pretty straightforward. After that, if direction, okay, if this direction value, if it's equal to right, then we set up the multiplier. So this is also set to a ternary statement, and multiplier. So we're checking if game move to sub the move minus game move from sub the move. Okay, so in the beginning this will be 0. So game move to sub 0 minus game move from sub 0. If that's equal to 2, okay, so this is move 2. So in the first case, this is going to be 2 minus 0. So if 2 minus 0 is equal to 2, then return 2 to multiplier, okay? Or else, then return 1. So basically what this is checking is, it's just checking, are we going to go over 2 posts? If that's true, then return multiplier of 2. If not, then we know that we're just going 1 post over, so return 1. And once this, like in the first case, this multiplier is going to get assigned 2. And then once it gets assigned 2, then we have our multiplier, which we can multiply 2 times the distance between the posts, and then we'll get the correct value to go across. So else if the direction is equal to left, then multiplier is set to game move to game animate count -1 plus game move from sub the move. If that's equal to 2, then return -2 to multiplier, or else -1. So if that's a little bit confusing, and it was for me in the beginning, but yeah, just look at it, and I was able to figure it out and come out with this, and it works pretty good. So just take a look at that, and I'm sure you can understand what's going on there. And then so the last thing is, once we've got all that, we can return the left value. So left value is the current position of the disk, and then we're adding on the distance between the post times the multiplier. Okay, and then we just concatenate on px, and then we get our left value. So this could be anything. It will end up with something like, it could have 363 px, and that's our left value. Okay, so then yeah, this gets returned to send disk across. And then we have the value stored right here, and then it's able to accurately animate it to the center of the post. So basically we've got the game working now for for 3 different disks, and I'm not sure if I'll do more with this app or not, but the next steps could be set up some buttons or something like that where people can click 3, 4, or 5, how many disks they want to use, and then we animate the game with that many disks.